Shiksha Bharati Puraskar and Indian Leadership Award for Educational Excellence. So Rohit ji has, he's working with, various state governments like India, China, Canada on projects related to an education and innovation ecosystem creation in the areas of especially this management, technology, and the design. And he's a regular guest at Doordarshan TV programs on digital media, design, and innovation. He's also been invited as jury member and actively involved in academic as well as the various consulting assignments with prominent institutes like NID and IIM Ahmedabad. And he serves on the board of this Nirma Institute of Design, then IMS DIA, Leaf Incubator of GLS University. Also, he is senior mentor to various incubators supported by Atal Innovation Mission Niti Aayog, New Delhi. And he has delivered more than 325 plus seminars and workshops at several national and international forums. So definitely we are having this the learning from him, and he's also now founder of one of the reputed Innovation and Research Foundation (IRF), carrying out this education and consulting work in the areas of innovation and design, especially not only in India but also in USA, Australia, China, and Sri Lanka. So parallelly, he is also the founder director for Explorer Design School, which is India's premier digital media design education company, having numerous campuses in India and China. And also he is founder director for Futures that explore implementing design subject, culture zones and lab in 2000 plus schools in several the countries. So he has basically background of bachelor degree in mechanical engineer, PG diploma in business management, and PhD in design intervention from K-12. So he is right now, we can say, the right guy for this management fraternity because engineering the context and the learning of business management, PhD in design, these three is much more needed for this audience, these participants. So definitely uh, I request you, sir, to bless us with your the valuable inputs, especially in this forum. So these are, sir, all the faculty members, especially from AICT affiliated institutes and management faculties, and few are in the different domains of engineering and science. So we have almost this is the second day of their FDP, and today morning we have the session of Amresh Chakrabarti ji, who is the well-known personality from IISc Bangalore, and who is the known as design expert in couple of the countries also. And then one of our ex-colleague that Karamjit has taken up the session on research and the basic empathy on things. So now it's over to you, sir, and thank you for joining and accepting our invitation for this.
So, first of all, very many congratulations to GTU and the Department of Management for organizing such a wonderful program, which is actually the need of the time. If we look at the new education policy that has come about, it talks about certain areas that have become essential in management education. For example, multidisciplinary learning, holistic approach to education. How do we integrate several disciplines in a direction to have meaningful outcomes? It could be employment or it could be self-employment. So looking at that, I would greatly appreciate the initiative of your Tushar Bhai, Pankaj Bhai, and of course, GTU is always very close to our heart, and we've worked very closely with GTU for the engineering programs, that is design engineering. So I would like to thank the Registrar Sab and Naveen Seth Sab for organizing such a wonderful event. I hope this is the first in line of the several events that you may champion, because GTU by itself has championed the cause of design thinking in India. And looking at that, there is so much wealth of knowledge that GTU possesses that could be useful to faculty members across the country. So with that, just a quick view, Tushar bhai, we have time till 1:30, I believe. Am I correct?
Sir, up to one is fine, and for 10 to 15 minutes with
10 to 15 minutes question answer. Okay. So I'll structure my communication accordingly. For today, I thought, friends, that let me share with you certain case studies, because we talk a lot about design thinking in context of management education. But if we are able to see some case studies that how institutions are using design thinking and benefiting from it, so I thought of sharing certain work that we've done in this area. I'll share the screen, and therefore, I hope you are able to see the screen. Tushar bhai, if you can just help me out. Is the screen visible?
It is under process.
Yeah. Is it visible, the screen?
Not yet, sir.
Yes, it is visible. It is coming Explora.
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect.
Now
So,
is
friends, let's begin the session since we have time, which is always scarce. And as you will see, the kind of case studies I am sharing are quite a bit in number. So let's not spend some time. I would, of course, at the onset and in the end also, I would mention that those of us who are really keen about design thinking in management, please feel free to connect over LinkedIn. And if you have any queries further, we will discuss that. So that's an open invitation, that more than happy to help organizations and individuals who want to develop in this area. So to start, there are three levels of intervention, friends, when we talk about design thinking in management. The first level of intervention is institutional development programs. So there are certain institutions that are wanting to reinvent themselves. As most of us must have realized that every institution, like an organization, has a lifespan, and we need to reinvent in context of the changed times. So there are many organizations, just to give you a few examples, the UP government wanted to establish a design school. And when they said we want a design school, usually it happens that everyone looks at the National Institute of Design. But when that project came about, our team mentioned that instead of having replicating the National Institute of Design, why not relook at, based on the current context and the state of Uttar Pradesh, the sector of handicraft, the craft sector, almost 40 craft clusters. Can all these be integrated in order to create an institution of the future? So there is that one level where institutes want to reinvent themselves based on the changed time. The second, programs that are very popular in management circle context to design thinking are faculty development programs, where the faculty members can actually apply design thinking themselves to bring about innovation in the practices that they are following. So that is the second area. I will touch upon a case study in that area for our benefit. And the third is the very popular students related program. And these, of course, fall in the three broad areas for skill development. For example, if we wish our students to have a management temperament and have the 21st century skills which are essential for their employment. The second part is how do we engage project-based learning and integrate all the subjects of management together. So friends, some of you who are from the other disciplines besides management, please don't misunderstand. The methodology remains similar. The context of the entire thing changes to whether it is engineering, management, or architecture or design. Therefore, when you see this presentation, it could actually be cross-discipline, and we can learn from the same. So the project-based learning is become very popular, as I mentioned right in the beginning, that our honorable ministers have laid emphasis, and all the states are laying emphasis on the new education policy and a project-based learning approach, a shift from teaching to learning, from teacher faculty centric to student centric approach. So that's the second outcome. And third, of course, is design thinking is greatly popular as a methodology for startup and entrepreneurship. So having said that, I would wish to share some of the case studies from here. And these are the places where we have contributed actively for design thinking. And of course, GTU being one of the most prominent and pioneering institutions in taking up design thinking. It's called design engineering there. I hope Karamjit would have given some inputs on that previously. So we'll not touch much on that, but let's look at some of the other cases in the management circle. So to begin with, friends, let's look at the kind of organizations that how they look at design thinking. So I would cite a classic example that way back when Ashish Jalute was at IIM, it was thought that let's create a design thinking program for management students and a stand-alone design thinking. So design thinking as a program, which is a methodology and can be shared with the students so that those who may in future want to get into consulting or other streams, they would be familiar with design thinking as an approach and use that. So that is purely one aspect that organizations look at, that how can I use it as a design thinking as a subject, which may give the students a familiarity with the methodology, which they can use later on in their profession. So that's the first one. But while we were doing that, I would want to share now the second, which is even more interesting. The reason being that when we look at this aspect of design thinking, it brings a new flavor to management education. So I would like to cite and thank here one of the uh, pioneers in e-governance in the country, Professor Subhash Bhatnagar Saab. We actually had a chance meeting at MITI, that is Ministry of Electronics and IT, under NEGD and NISG, where we train the CIOs, Chief Information Officers of public sector enterprises and government, to use design thinking. So he was speaking just before me, and then when he heard what I shared about design thinking, he said, why can't we introduce this approach to a subject that I am teaching? So he teaches e-governance in the second year to PGP students as an elective. So he said, can't we use design thinking to connect the classroom learning to the real life? So if you may appreciate, friends, here we are moving from design thinking, as I shared before, as a subject which is taught to understand methodology of design thinking or an approach which people can take up in future. From there to somebody saying, can I use design thinking as a methodology to enhance the subject learning? So we did that, and happy to share that that is a popular program where what we have done is, on top of a 2 credit design e-governance course, we have introduced 1 credit of project. And in a class, so the interesting aspect I will share here is that when we implement, this is from the last year, that when we implement this whole approach, it resulted in, there were 24 students in the class. We selected those specific ones, and they were given, 3 students team was given 1 organization to work with on a live project. What it means is that students were in the class given approach of design thinking, methodology and tools and techniques which they can take to this organization and apply. So the broadly applied into 2 phases. First, the students went to find problems with these organizations, and then they had to come up with solutions. And happy to share that out of the 8 projects that students did, 3 of them went into the implementation stage with the government. So what I'm sharing here, friends, that design thinking here somebody is using to connect the current learning, like the subjects of marketing management or HR, organization behavior, or consumer behavior, market research, or in IT, information technology, innovation management. We can apply design thinking also as an approach on top of that subject to create a project at the end of the program to connect the classroom learning with real life, giving the students some tools to say that whatever you have learned in the subject, now use the tools of design thinking to apply it and get some result. happy to share the kind of projects that emerged. One of them was talking about small units, MSMEs, and when they use the portal of the government for import and export, what are the challenges they face? And when they did the project, they mapped out all the stakeholders, identified the gaps in the current existing system, and came up with their own recommendation as a portal for connecting MSMEs through the government with organizations abroad who wanted to engage with import and export. As we can see that through that interesting project of one credit, here the students were able to provide real life solution, which and what resulted at the end of it, when we talked to these students, they said that when now, since we are familiar with this approach, we could actually apply it to any subject and enrich the learning of the subject. The other one very interesting project was done for the traffic police and use of IoT in smart city. So one of the teams took that, and we took the IM crossroad starting as 5 basic crossroads in the city and mapped that and provided technology solutions for smart city in that context. And third, even more interesting, was some of the students picked up that what is the mental state of the our citizens who are involved in waste management collection. And they went quite deep into the psychology of how people perceive them and how they perceive, and what are the gaps and where do they feel dissatisfied with the entire system, what leads to kind of lack of confidence and self-belief in them. And interestingly, people could come out with deep insights that how people treat them and how they respond, and give them solutions accordingly. So here, friends, we see the second approach of design thinking. The first was design thinking as a methodology which could be useful in future as an approach for consulting. The second approach I shared was using design thinking as a project on top of a subject that's being existingly taught, and the result. Let's look at another approach here. The other approach was that we were approached by an institution called IMT Ghaziabad, where they said we have 700 students in the first year, and we want to develop two things. One, we want our students, 10% of the students should focus on entrepreneurship out of 700, and rest of the students could actually have an exposure to design thinking working with organizations. So there, the project, if you may see, friends, we took that as a challenge. These were some of, like I shared, some of the objectives that were set out, as you can see on the screen. And keeping these objectives, we created a 3-credit course. Now you can understand 700 students, so we had to divide them for design thinking. The best class size is anywhere close to about 30. So we had to divide them into groups of 35. So there were 20 groups that we had to cover. Here we took a different approach. We said, let's take it in a workshop mode. And therefore we took design thinking as first 2 days, which is problem finding. We gave them a 2-day workshop on campus, gave them 3 weeks to apply what they have learned by choosing an organization and bringing back the problem. Then we did another 2 days of the workshop, which was problem solving. And then the students were again given a month where they could apply whatever they have learned in the class to come up with interesting solutions, prototypes, and testing them. And finally, on the last day, we had the debriefing of how design thinking is applied in organizations and for the students, and exhibition. The interesting parts, friends, was that this resulted, if we can see, 90+ students projects resulted from this approach. Out of, and if you may have noticed, I mentioned that these projects are done with organizations. So we choose a live organization. Students have to choose that. They have to approach these organizations to get permission that we want to do a project with you. And then they work with that organization through the entire process of design thinking. I'll cover in the end 5 minutes the approach that we use in management for design thinking. So they went to these organizations, worked with them, found a problem, found a solution. And interestingly, when we did the innovation day, because there were this many number of projects, 90, we had given them each one table and space to exhibit. It was to be done in a football ground, and they created an air conditioning enclosure, a huge one, everyone given a space, and 30 corporates visited on that day where students had done the project. Now see friends, where design thinking as an approach is now connecting the students with the corporate world. And when they do that, they get better engagement. We are very familiar with the internships or immersion program that we do in terms of summers or the other. But here they actually took up an approach. Like for example, if somebody takes up Six Sigma and goes to an organization and applies for quality, here they took up design thinking for innovation, chose an organization, found the problems, gave them the solution, and people appreciates it. So 30 plus corporates visited the exhibition to appreciate the work of the students that they have done. Now this is real life connecting. So we give them case studies and we give them immersion, but here is a real life situation where they actually got them certain solutions for the problem they were facing. Even more heartening, friends, was the 10 startups that resulted from it. So as we said that say out of the total 700 students, we could see that 10 startups, group of almost close to about 80 students took up startups as part of that project. So we were having two tracks going parallel, one working with organization, another trying to see that let me select a domain like fintech or agri-tech and focus on that domain to find the problems, and then identify an idea, and then of course solve that, and by the end they were ready with their pitch deck. So here design thinking takes another two routes. So if you see now we're talking about third or fourth context. First, we saw design thinking for a methodology for consulting at IIM. We took up design thinking as a project on top of an existing subject. Then now we looked at design thinking, one group, and within management education of 2 years, one group getting into the startup zone, another large group working with corporates to solve the problem. So of course, we had to create an ecosystem, which I will share very soon. Beside that, we also do design thinking 2 credit course for their executive batch, which is very popular in the sense of because they are working professionals, they can actually apply this real life to their job back in their organizations. And of course, we also created an interesting entrance exam using design thinking. Just to give you 2 lines on that, what it means is that design thinking, while the people are doing the project, is able to bring out certain skills which I was mentioning before. What are these skills? These are skills like, are the people collaborating well? Are some of the people taking initiative? Are some of the people showing leadership skills? Are some of the people having social and cultural sensitivity? Are the people looking at the environment and able to adapt to that environment? Are some of them exhibiting abilities like persistence and grit? Because in design thinking, many a time we hit a roadblock where we are not getting an answer because it's an application of real life situation. So how they are reacting to that? Are they leaving that and going to the next problem to be solved, or they will stick it, do the root cause analysis, get further into the problem and then try? So persistence and grit. Besides, of course, the three very popular, which I'll share very soon, the three other skills which management institutions focus. So while they were doing the projects, we mapped them against these skills and tried to identify that who is exhibiting what kind of skill. So there it was a very interesting and innovative approach to conduct an entrance exam using design thinking for the executive batch. Now we come to another case study. There is an institution which now, of course, the name has been changed recently. It's called Jagdish Seth School of Management. And friends, don't misunderstand. There are many programs that we have conducted, but I'm choosing some of the case studies where I'm sharing with you the uniqueness of the design thinking program. Like if I talk about IIMs, then I am Ahmedabad, I am Indore, I am Lucknow, I am Bodh Gaya. They have used design thinking, but I'm not sharing all of them because they fall in one or the other category of this unique approaches of design thinking. The second, now let's come to therefore IFIM. It was very similar approach that they wanted to take from IMT as a 3 credit course, saying that we want our 300 students to be trained on this so that some of them take up entrepreneurship and rest of them of course have a better connect. They wanted one more thing here, and that was that they wanted to look at the bridging the industry and academia gap. So what was the kind of expectations from the industry in terms of their placement requirements, and can we inculcate those skills also through the design thinking project? So along with entrepreneurship, which is creating a startup, engaging with the corporates, there were certain cornerstones which were specific objectives being shared with us. For on basis of that, we created again the same 3 credit course, but here you see the difference. It was divided into one day program. So the entire team went there for a day, conducted a 1 day workshop, gave them 3 weeks, then one more day, then gave them 3 weeks. So we broke the entire design thinking into different stages, and at each stage we were able to give them some inputs which they went back to the organization, applied and came back. Happy to share, friends, that this year the blended model is working really wonderful. Wherever previously we had to do it face to face, this year we have almost succeeded in converting 80% of our content in an online live delivery that is broadcast with each class, and 20% through boot camps which are conducted at the end. The other model that we've also experimented and works well is an initial orientation of one day, then 80% of the program is delivered through broadcast, live sessions, and then last one day is the debrief and the presentations on campus. So the blended model is also doing wonders in the field of design thinking. I'm not talking about online programs. I'm talking about live delivery of the session that happens to the class is giving wonders. Online has its own limitations of the speed and engagement, but we are finding phenomenal results in engaging the class like all of us are doing in other subjects. In the same way, the blended approach is working. So here is, if we look at coming back to the IMT case, here is one day spread over a period of 3.5 months, and IFIM case, and that was conducted over 3.5 months. And again, it showed similar results. 13% of the students, so 39 students chose startup creation, and rest of them, all of them looked at 48 organizations, engaged with them, and we had 15 plus corporate visitors from these 48 organizations appreciating the students. And the diversity of the work we could see was actually solving problems in the human resource domain. That is, for example, implementing technology in shortlisting candidates, identifying the human resource, performance appraisal, how gaps in that, shop floor problems related to the condition of workers or improving the efficiency and effectiveness, all those, or it could be marketing, that social media promotion campaigns, finding gaps there and proposing solutions. Those were the variety of actual real life problems they could find. But here I would go one step ahead. Till here it was very similar to IMT, except that there was one objective, that is the objectives of the organizations where the students get placement, going by those few critical parameters that they shared. And because of confidentiality, I'm not able to share what were the inputs we created as a platform for design thinking context. But going ahead, this is even more interesting. Once the students finished that 3 credit program, another 3 credit program was added on top of that, which was startup creation program. So the 39 students who were keen to have a startup, they were taken ahead and said that we will give you another 3 credit, but we will have to now go to launch the startup. So see here, friends, that within the management program, another 3 credit course where students are encouraged to actually create the startup on campus was introduced. And of course, here are the statistics. Uh, Out of the 39 students, 18 teams got created. And out of the 18 teams, happy to share that ideally, 3 teams right in the pitch and 2 more later, 5 teams were shortlisted for funding. Think about it, friends, that we are talking about a structured approach within management institution curriculum where 3 credit of orientation to design thinking and then helping them to actually create startup and get the funding. So how the institution supported them is that they gave them a flexibility that in these 2 years you can actually take up your startup while you are doing your management program, and if you succeed at the end, that is wonderful, like they got the funding and those. If they don't succeed at the end of 2 years, then they can still get they can qualify for the placements like with the other students and have a same opportunity for placement. And then in support of that, a small startup foundry was created where students can work beyond their other regular classes hours for their startup. So this is another approach where an organization has used design thinking. There is another approach which I would like to share is for symbiosis, and that's a little unique in the sense that they said many of our students come with less work experience. So how can we engage those students and of course the whole class, but one section of them engage in sense of getting a better exposure to the industry and how it functions? Can design thinking help in the same? So a 2 credit course in the first year of that focuses on skills and competencies. And one of the key skills we have identified there is problem solving. So problem solving as and mapping the entire program for the development of problem solving ability and mapping that through the metrics at the end that has design thinking project or subject resulted into enhancement of that. The second, what we do in the second year is that when the students come back from their summers, in the second year, we do a 1 credit, which is contextual to their domain. So now they can choose a project in HR, IT, operations, finance, marketing, and contextual to that, they choose an organization. Since they are already familiar with design thinking approach in the first year, now we go deeper into using of further tools and techniques in order to dig deeper and take up problems and solve them in that context. So if we see here, friends, that's the kind of approach that these organizations, some of the organization take. So if we now look at it, we have a whole variety of context till now. The first context, design thinking methodology for our students who take up consulting, design thinking on top of existing subject where the current subject can be taught better, could be any subject through a project approach. Design thinking, connecting the students with the corporates in having better exposure of the corporate world. Design thinking for startup, giving exposure to entrepreneurship and startup creation. From there, another course of design thinking to take those startups into the real life mode and get them launched by funding and those. The other approach, design thinking for developing specific skills like problem solving in context to the requirement of the summers and connecting them with real life project. Design thinking, the next level in the second year, taking up HR practice, specific design thinking for specific domain. And so these are variety of contexts that we have seen till now. And of course, I'll not cite, these are the success story that goes that students actually creating and doing live projects. Most of these programs, to be friends, are now running in their 5th or 6th year of operations. And therefore, we have seen good success in achieving the objectives that are laid out. Of course, Nirma University, I would also cite that because like GTU, Nirma University pioneered the design thinking in management way back when. And also, I'm sure for some of you, happy to share that I'm an alumnus of the first batch of full-time Nirma management program. So because it was my own institution, we thought that let's also benefit our own organization and give something back. But more than that, happy to share that they have used design thinking at multiple levels. So faculty orientation programs at university level, how design thinking plays a role there. We do that regular program. Design thinking for curriculum and case development for different streams. Design orientation program for students in terms of 21st century managerial skill and temperament. Specific program for family business. How can they diversify their existing business or expand that existing business? Specific program for that, and to nurture innovation and creativity. But I would like to cite here the last one that we see is very similar to what IIM did, is introduce this program on top as a one credit as a project to the existing course. So here there was management of technology and innovation course where we added design thinking to connect to real life. And of course, now it's been 15 plus diverse program, many students and faculties having benefited from it over these last few years. At MICA, the methodology remains same. The context is communication design. So when I say communication design, this is the context when we do the workshops. The context is innovation, creative thinking, and knowledge management of the content, because there the emphasis is on communication and content. So how can original content be developed? What are kind of communication and media strategies can be articulated? Can we create the content for different screens that people can use? So here, very specific objective driven design thinking workshop. And of course, the two others are ethnographic research for the content, which is now very popular, is online study of how people respond to both online and offline and how it's different. And can we prototype the same for infographics? So here, friends, is another approach with the change in the context. If you see and notice, there is a change in the way design thinking can address the same. I'll cite some of now the management development programs which are very popular. So we do management program. One of the very popular programs is called the Sales Leadership Program. It's a 3-day program at IIM Lucknow, which we do with a good friend Prem Divani Saab heading Manthan Center there. Specifically appreciate his initiative because he said, we are doing these programs on sales leadership for quite a long time. Can we now do it using completely design thinking? So over 3 days of workshop, engaging with the participants, we use an interesting approach. I will share that with you. That interesting approach we call is for when we work with corporates. I hope you are able so friends, are you able to see the new screen which says original approach design led innovation? Can anyone please
original approach design lead innovation,
yeah
observation,
perfect.
Empathy, problem.
Yeah, perfect. So that's there on the screen. So what we do there, friends, is that when we apply design thinking for students, our objective is that they get to learn the approach, they get to develop the skills, and the third part is that they also, by the way, solve a problem. When we do MDPs, specifically work with corporates, our approach changes to reverse. Can we first solve their problem? And on the way, they can develop an understanding of design thinking as an approach. And the byproduct is the skill development that happens. Therefore, the approach that we use there is called the design clinic approach. They come with a problem to the class, and over the 3 days, like I shared with you, we help them solve that problem. So if we see the difference, here it is, therefore we call it a clinic approach, that when they bring a problem to the class, first we do create hypothesis that whether this problem really exists, what can we do about that, can it be tested whether or validated whether it's really the problem or it's just the symptom, to what level we should dwell deeper. So we take that approach of clinic first, finding and articulating the problem clearly, and then we help them over this time to solve the same. So that approach is little different, as you must have noticed, to the approach that we use. I'll not go through these case studies. There are many case studies which we contribute actively to our clients in the different sectors. One just interesting one, and the government, of course. But why I'm citing here is, as faculty members, there is a whole opportunity to also engage the local MSMEs, the local industry, the local craft clusters, and come up with design clinics which can give solutions to them, and with our students as resource and faculty members working together, MDP could be a very interesting approach to engaging the local industry, our students, and our team in order to come up and provide real-time solutions. So that's the purpose for my sharing this quick 2-minute thing with you, for the reason that that's how design thinking can also be a very powerful approach, where we are addressing the industry problems, or not just the industry but societal problems, and those MDPs could be also very useful approaches. Similarly, the other, I'm just giving you some ideas there, future leader program that's looking at skill development in context of middle level managers. How can they build their skills for the future? So a program specifically designed for two of the large automobile leaders of the world that we contribute in this future leader program. And that's all contribution from the faculty members, because they take up this whole, like some of you may get enthused about design thinking. Besides, of course, for the students, it can be then programs for the corporate sector. Coming to an interesting faculty development program, and I would like to thank this institution. We have been working with them for their private incubator. So they have an incubator and an accelerator in Noida, and they said we also have management school. And this is a project which happened in the COVID time, so they said we want to reinvent the way we do things. Can we do a faculty development program where we reinvent whatever problems or possibilities do people bring to the class? And so we conducted a very interesting 2.5-month program where we met every week for 2 hours and gave them inputs on design thinking as they solved their problems that they brought to the class. So let's look at some of those. If we can see, these were the interesting different projects that people chose, faculty member chose. If we can see, some of them said we want to create economic viability of the research that we do at institution. How can we do that? How can we redesign teaching pedagogy for all courses? How can we redesign the club activities to integrate them into curricular, co-curricular and extracurricular activities together to map a certain outcome? Some of them took up redesigning the entire curriculum to make it learner-centric. Then very interestingly, innovation in online education, perspectives and evaluation. They wanted to connect that, can we, while we are teaching our students in the class through online, can we also extend the same and open that to outsiders who also come limited numbers? So if we have 30 in a class students, can we bring in 5 more from outside, and they can also take the class online and bring in a very vibrant culture in the class? So something like that. The other project was connecting their students, alumni, parents, and industry together through some kind of an interesting portal and making it more effective. So if we see, friends, this is what kind of projects were taken up. There were 27 faculty members from 3 domains together. We had management, we had from the MCA department, and we also had faculty, the people from their incubator. So all 3 came together and simultaneously selected these 11 projects. And now they are in a stage where, after finishing the 2.5-month orientation to design thinking and taking them through an entire thing, they created a roadmap for 6 months. that how will we implement whatever solutions we have found to this problem, and happy to share that now they are in the implementation stage and they are following the action plan that they created before and implementing the innovations in their organization. So here, as you remember, friends, I said it is also used as an institutional development approach. But here we see institutional development and the faculty development program being clubbed together. So faculties over this time got embedded in design thinking, but they also used it for the institutional development activities. I would SEPT is another project. So these are some of the case studies. I'll just take you through the glimpse of it and just share what end result came about from in context of the variety of what design thinking can address. Here were a group of students who chose that we live at SEPT and work during night time. The SEPT is an architectural institution, so we work most of the time in the night, but our campus is designed for daytime working. So this group of students took this interesting challenge and they talked to their management and said, can we take this project and create a campus for night time? So what all they had to look at is factors such as administration within the organization, municipality, they had to talk to them, they had to talk to the security related aspects, facilities during the night time, cleanliness perspective, how can discipline and those things can also be integrated. And they came up with this kind of a prototype. Why I'm showing you, friends, this is that it's not just the unique idea, but look at how beautifully on one single snapshot they have explained the entire thing that they have done for the institution. So design thinking approach can also be a very interesting communication tool in order to showcase the solution that we have brought about. That's what we cover in prototype. And while looking at this one single slide, the management could actually get into quickly understanding that, oh, here is a very interesting thing, whether we want to do it or not. Of course, then a decision could be made on one single glance. So this is the beauty of how design thinking. I'll skip this because I think Karamjit would have already focused on it. But I would like to share one thing about GTU is that they have pioneered the design thinking for engineering. And I think now is the time when that's why I was greatly thrilled when I heard the first time the message from them that we are doing an FDP design thinking contextual to management. I felt so happy that for all these years, what we have built competence in engineering, now it can be also developed for management. But having said that, friends, as you must have noticed, with the change in context, the whole approach of design thinking also changes. So it cannot be taken as one method fit everyone. It is an approach which has to be developed. So in fact, sometime on a lighter note, I say that design thinking should also be applied for creating design thinking programs. It should not be created in a traditional way that one model fits all. So here I would like to cite just two more examples and then I will open to question answer. And of course, I'll show you how we take the students through a structured approach. Of course, here is a case study where we work with a university in China, and they said they wanted to bring all disciplines of the university together. So they wanted to bring together people from diverse learning areas. So if we look at some of the areas, they said people who are with the art department, people who are with the commerce department, people who are with the graphics department, design, people with management, people with engineering, all of them should come together. And at the end of the program, they should exhibit certain skills which can result into employment or self-employment. So that project actually is again a pioneered, and for each one of these friends we have separate case studies. So if you feel at some point of time that you are quite interested, as I mentioned, you can connect on LinkedIn or write to me. We could discuss that how each of these took this shape. Right now I'm giving you a variety from a faculty perspective that how all we can use design thinking in variety of ways and implement it. But the nuances of that, like what kind of model to create, and those can be looked at further. This is the last case study, friends, I would like to cite, where the J Hub, that's the incubation incubator that they have, every year they bring out, do a competition in Telangana and bring out 80 students as who bring startup ideas. And then what we do is that we have a very structured approach. I'll quickly show that also as a glimpse. They go through that approach for a period of 2 months, and at the end of it, the objective is that they need to have meaningful startups there. When I say meaningful, it should have a great idea in the sense that it is backed on the need of the market. So otherwise, many a time students bring brilliant ideas. They think it's great because they've fallen in love with those, but the market doesn't need it. So how do we convince these young people without telling them that no, I don't like your idea or market will not like? We make them go through a structured approach where they themselves recognize that is this problem really persistent? Is it the need of the hour? Are the people having this kind of pain points? And then themselves either pivot or change their way. So here is a regular program that we do. And of course, there are many other case studies, but because of lack of time, I'll now switch to something that I wanted to share with you in context of the approach, how it can be implemented. For that, I would like to, because we are talking about startup, let me start with that. This is a very interesting program that we have created, and of course this you may connect it with the programs that I talked about at IMT and IFIM at the second level, where we have some group of students and we want them to create a startup. There we take an approach saying 9 challenges for startup, and we go through each of the challenges, keeping in mind whether the proposition is correct or is it weak, the apt business model, lack of focus or shifting focus sometime among the startups and the young people who take it up, lack of comprehensive understanding of different domains in context of the startup, and of course specialized inputs at the right time. So looking at that, we created these 9 challenges which we call here, and these challenges are basically the student is, or a participant or an incubatee is taken through each of these challenge and mapped at each level, and it's like a go no go situation, no? So it's like a game where they take up the first, they solve that challenge, so they go to the next, they solve that challenge, they go to the next, and therefore they themselves realize that whether their problems are rightly identified, idea is really good, prototype is working or not. So that's how we take this challenge, design thinking, using design thinking and creating these challenges for startup. Same approach, friends, when we do for the students. Just a second. Yeah, here it is. So I hope you are able to see this screen, which is talking about broad overview of the course coverage.
Yes, sir.
Yes, so in that context, it is divided into, now I've shared with you different objectives, different contexts, different organization using design thinking for their different specific application. But how do we run that? Few critical things I would like to share. It's very important to have expert master classes in between on specific topics that we are covering. I'll show the topics also. And then I would also recommend a very strong mentorship session while we do design thinking, because design thinking being a project-based approach, sometime when the students do it, we are not able to understand whether they have really got to the root of the things and gone deeper into the process. You know, sometimes superficially they'll create a lot of things and bring it back. The mentorship sessions at a regular interval in design thinking say that we will sit with each team and understand at that stage what they have been able to bring out. So it's more like a coaching for success, and sitting with this each team member and contributing there. So these two form a very critical aspects, along with of course the broadcast. So we normally follow our approach is different from some of the western approaches of Stanford. We start with system study, make them do an entire exercise of observation using frameworks, tools, techniques, and creating their original data, and bring that data to the class and map that data for that how authentic it is, and can that be trusted, is it really, we need to dig deeper and support them. So this we call as the system study as is. Then we take them through the exercise of empathy, and I'm sure this must have been covered before, so I'm not dwelling too much, just showing you that how each step has been mapped out in the context of as faculty members. When we have to design a lesson plan or create something, we need to be sensitive to aspects of how much time, how many members, what kind of output do we expect, what kind of a study should be there, so that it is as close to the reality that we want to bring in. Along with that, we should also keep some aspects, subjective aspects in mind and give. So I would say that we use this principle of Tom Peters of loose tight. So certain components of the curriculum are very tightly put together, and therefore the students have a clarity of where they're going, and some are left a little flexible in component of their inputs, their ideas, their approaches if they want to bring or add. So having done that, then we go through, make them go through a rigorous analysis and synthesis of data, which actually works on big and small data to identify and articulate the problem from the data that they have brought. Having said that, then of course they go through 3 levels of ideation. Structured approach, not brainstorming or those. We use structured approach, sometimes TRIZ or Scamper. Then lateral thinking approach, which brings radical ideas, and divergent thinking approach, which will bring incremental ideas. Having done that, again prototype at 3 level. Idea to paper, paper to a model or a concept, and model or a concept to a business prototype. So we also introduce to the students business canvas and working on those at a management level, so they get a whole perspective. Not just in the first year, they are not very familiar with other domains or the subject, but here through the project the curiosity is generated that, oh, I want to study cost benefit analysis, but it's not come in the course, let me go online and study that and bring. So if you may realize, friends, the onus of learning is shifting to the students and their curiosity, and making them more inquisitive for the same. Then we go into the explore the stage of the 7th stage, where we test the prototype, that how is it working in the real life, what are the response from different stakeholders. After that, we bring it back to the final presentation of the team. Now we do evaluation at 4 levels, I would say. One is we make them write reflective notes. The entire process that they've gone through, they have to create a reflective note individually. The second is, of course, the classic way of quiz, where we show them a video quiz and let them answer the quiz there. The third is the process. Whatever they have gone through as a process, the team has to exhibit the entire process in a very clear and articulated way, step by step. And the fourth thing we also make them do is create a small audio visual clip of 4 minutes of the entire process and the learning outcome. So if we see, the byproduct is documentation, research, and articulating the things both in medium of a report as well as an audiovisual presentation. So here I would stop, friends. It's exactly one o'clock, and I believe that interaction with you is also equally important. This because this would be so much information in so little time. So so some of I suggest there's someone will have to request our participants to switch off their mic and let's have an interaction, friends. If I share more, I think that would really get into an information overload. But in that context, I would welcome that these were few case studies. I shared the case studies in the context that these organizations, not from that they have pioneered, but of course appreciating their efforts, that they have done this kind of an effort. We need to recognize and their initiative in this area, but also the uniqueness. So with that, over to our friends, that if you may want to have any question answers, want open to that for.
Hello. Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes. So, dear participants, if you have any quick question, because Rohit sir has already aligned the perspective, because during these 2 days these participants have focused on that part, because every institute will have that IIC, Institute Innovation Council, where this kind of setup is required, where design experts or at least 1 or 2% from within their academia should know about this, so that easily they can answer the questions of their students, because the momentum across the nation is now on. So every student, every parent know these things. What are the initiatives taken by AICTs and government for promoting the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship? So definitely, this management faculties plays a vital role for scaling up, I guess, for their business model, or how they can help students for identifying the customer segments or the targets, or how they can position with the various, the BCG matrix, or seven A's, the McKinsey's, the strategy matrix. So, friends, I request all of to, ask questions. So this will be very really interesting, the thing to know.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes,
Sir, I'm Janakiram from Andhra Pradesh.
Yes,
yeah.
good afternoon, Jankiram. Hope you are doing well.
Yeah, we hope you also doing well, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, the question is like in IIC Bangalore, the last talk we have heard that they are offering only the course that can be useful to design a product. But apart from designing a product, there is
Yes.
designing a strategy.
Wonderful. Very good
Uh,
question. I get your question. Would you want to finish, or do you suggest that I can answer? Because
yeah,
this is
please.
the most common question that comes about. It's very, very good, valid point. I must congratulate you for asking that, because it will help others also. Uh, Design thinking is a methodology. Like some of us are familiar with Six Sigma. So, what
Mm,
Six Sigma did for quality movement, design thinking is doing for innovation.
yeah.
And since we are in an innovation era, therefore, design thinking has become the currency. Now, design thinking can be applied to anything. For example, I'll give you a few examples which will make you feel comfortable from the management perspective. Students take up a retail outlet, they visit that store, they study what all are the stakeholders related problems and possibilities in terms of the customer, when they interact with the customer, when the employees are they satisfied with the working, is the system designed properly in context of the market requirements, are the way that the products being put on the shelf laid out correctly, is the technology behind the entire thing, like it logistics and workflow management as well as billing related things, are they all aligned properly? So students go through all of these aspects, and if you notice, all of these are service or system related things. So students, its design thinking is not only in fact, I would give you one very, very unique example. The city of London 20 years back, they thought that we are losing the global tourism business. London used to be the hub of tourism in the world, and they said, what should we do? And I'm sure some of you are familiar that in some of the countries of the world there are ministries of design. which means that they're giving that much importance to design thinking as a approach. So they came together and said, we want to redesign London for the tourism perspective, that the people who come to London, that tourism business should increase. And all the iconic things that we see, the Eye of the London, or the way they are communicating, or the way they are telling their local people how to treat the tourists that are coming, how to engage with their tourists, the new businesses they are focusing upon that will help, like the last mile mobility of transportation for tourists. All those things were done using design thinking as an approach to redesign the city. Close to home, if we look at the e-hospital project, the entire e-hospital project, or the Umang app that is coming up recently, that entire project is being done using design thinking, where the approach in Umang is that can we reduce the number of clicks to reach the information we need. So if we see, design thinking is helping, not just, let me give you one more example from shop floor. We were doing an interesting project with one of the large manufacturing units in the country, and their challenge was that they have a huge shop floor where welding happens, and the welders are out. So there is a person who is in charge of it, outsourced to, and he controls the welders. Now, what happens is every time a person needs a welder, he has to put a note to his supervisor. The supervisor contacts the person who is the contractor. The contractor then approaches the welder. One of the bright minds like you there suddenly thought that why can't we do Uberization of welding? So see the principle. So what he said, let's create an app. Let's connect the welders at one end and the need of the people at another. Now, supervisor is not needed. The contractor is not needed in the process, in the app. They still are there because they will be the people who will be rewarded for it. Their task has become easy. A person identifies, I need to do welding at my station, which is the nearest person to me, and how much time he will get free. Now he clicks that and directly connects with the welder. Now let us look at the implication, friends. The welders are happy because now they get more work per day and they are being paid per hour on welding, where they used to sit idle waiting for the system to tell them that where they should go next. At the second level, the organization saves a huge amount of money because of the time that they save, and the supervisor is completely happy. His job is getting done automatically in this sector. Of course, he has other jobs also, and the contractor is happy because he's billing based on the entire activity that is happening. So here is an example where design thinking worked in solving a shop floor problem. Same way, HR practices. We work with Ernst and Young for their clients in terms of HR related practices using technology. So I hope, friend, that I've been able to answer that design thinking is a cross-disciplinary, cross-domain approach. It's a methodology. In fact, for some of you who are even keen, there is a whole book written, Design Thinking for Personal Benefit, and that is by a Stanford professor called The Achievement Habit. I don't know whether it's open source, but otherwise there's a book called The Achievement Habit, is how do we use design thinking for challenges that we face in our personal day-to-day life. So, I hope I've been able to give you some insight that it's not that it's a product-based approach or a software-based approach. Yes, it originated majorly in Silicon Valley, but we have been practicing design thinking way before. Like one of the classic examples I gave a few days back was that I was myself shocked when I read that example. Gandhiji can be treated as one of the best examples of design thinking. Mahatma Gandhi, father of our nation. If we look at the things he did, the way he identified problems, the way he created solutions, he could be treated as one of the pioneers like Thomas Edison in social innovation and creating social enterprise using design thinking way before design thinking even became popular as an approach. So here is, and why I'm citing this example is some of these cross-disciplinary examples will help us as faculties in order to really see how diverse this whole domain could be. And that's where we can contextualize. So I hope I've been able to answer that, friend. Very
Thank,
good you raised that.
thank you very
Yes.
much for answering, sir. And so the book name which you told, it is
Achievement habit.
Achievement Habit.
Yeah, the
Sir,
achievement
I
habit.
have another question. Can I ask?
Uh, and entirely up to Tushar bhai. Can do you want to give others a chance, or we can have the question?
No problem, sir. One question.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Another, I think, participant who might be on
Yes,
mute.
please go ahead.
Some noise is coming.
Uh, Tushar bhai will need to mute some participants. There's a noise coming. If you may mute.
Sir, I've muted all. Yes, yes.
Can, can I ask you now, sir?
Please.
Sir, what is the difference between blue ocean strategy and design strategy? How can we build
Wonderful.
difference?
That's a good question. Actually, I am missing that slide. I would later on, I'll send you the slide. In the entire journey of strategic methodologies, there are
Hmm.
methodologies that come across every decade that are meaningful for that decade.
Hmm.
Design thinking is an human centric approach. So, if I was to cite the real difference of design thinking from others, design thinking pays a lot of attention to the need of a human ahead of the need of the system. So, because people form the system. So, design thinking, therefore, is also called a human centric approach. One thing. Second, design thinking is a structured approach which follows a certain method of and a sequence of addressing a problem, finding a problem and solving it. Same as Blue Ocean has its own approach to identifying and solving. So, Blue Ocean as a strategy is to find radical innovation so that we can create blue oceans in whatever we are doing, systems, processes, products, or service. Design thinking says it's not just about radical, it could be even incremental solution. For example, I'll give you an example that a hospital in London was working on. There is a shift between nurse. I'm sure many of us have noticed when one nurse goes for after her duty and the next one comes, they pass on an information about the patient from one to another. They found that it takes almost 35 to 40 minutes to pass that information from one nurse to another. And it also has a gap because it's a human to human. Some things are documented, some things are being told. They said, how can we simplify this entire system? And therefore they created a very interesting simple app. Now even the patient and attendant is able to see the data live, and the whole process of shifting from one to another, this information 40 minutes got reduced to as less as 5 to 7 minutes. So if I was to, if I'm understanding what you're saying is it can be incremental solution. It doesn't need to be a radical game-changing solutions as come about in Blue Ocean, that we want to completely create a Blue Ocean in the product or our organization. So that's what second is. So one difference is the approach itself, the human centric. Second is the stages that design thinking takes us is little different from Blue Ocean. And third is that it also creates incremental solutions and not just creating blue oceans. Though design thinking can create blue oceans when we bring lateral thinking in solution, but it's an approach which can be applied there too.
Hello, sir. This is Howladar. I am Howladar from Bombay. Can I talk, sir, for a minute,
Please,
sir?
please.
Yeah. I enjoyed your lecture very much. It is in connection with the earlier Professor Viola. Fantastic. And I'm working, I'm a basically retired bureaucrat from ONGC, general manager, and doing research of almost 20 years on design thinking or related
Wow.
things, startup, basically startups. So now I'm very much interested in your design thinking application in startup. Probably you are the first person who spoke it here. And earlier, many FDB I attended, and I have a lot of material. I never find it. And also that Blue Ocean, Kirori Mall, Delhi, they had to conduct a program design thinking. They put the Blue Ocean also in that. And
Yes.
I'm interested to know your further work. I like to collaborate for the startups in Bombay. I'm basically working as a mentor.
Wonderful, sir. It will
And
be
sir,
indeed a
also
pleasure.
that that you're the lateral thing. I made that person attend this program, Dr. Edward Dibono, 35 years back in Taj Hotel. Taj Hotel. It cost me 3 months
Yes.
salary of that time.
Yes. Yes, so you have learned from the master of lateral thinking, Edward de Bono. We all respect him, and the work he has done is remarkable in that space. And in fact, the kind of tools he has offered and approach, remarkable. Greatly appreciate, Sab, your contribution to what you are doing today. Greatly appreciate
Sir,
the same.
his six thinking hat is
Six thinking
actually
hats.
design thinking. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is actually design thinking, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's for we use that for decision making sub. When the teams reach the stage of decision making, we tell them to use six thinking hats to arrive and make a decision on both the problem and the idea solution. Wonderful interacting sub. Can we have so thanks for that, and can we have
Yes, sir.
some more questions?
I already put a connection request in the LinkedIn, and also
Sure,
I appreciated your connection.
definitely we'll work sub. Thank you for your kind words. Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Tushar bhai, any further? Thank you. Anyone
Rohit
would
sir,
have a question, please?
Sir,
Rohit sir, sir, good afternoon. Sir, first of all, sir, it is quite a very interesting and enlightenment-oriented session. I saw the approach you applied in your various projects. I belong to an institution where my university has introduced this course for the first time. The problem is the faculty itself teaching for the first time, and the students are also getting it for the first time. Can you suggest some of the things as a faculty I should, or the person who is taking the subject should take care? Thank you, sir.
Wonderful question, Saab. There are three aspects to this. One is I would call that skill thinking and attitude. So there are certain skill related things that are there in design thinking, which is very straightforward. There are certain tools, techniques, there are certain process, which are very common. And when we apply those, we are going to get those results, which is specifically tool technique and those. The second is how can we address the subjective aspect of design thinking? For example,
where is sir?
uh,
Hmm?
uh, for example, when we talk about subjective, how do we encourage that everybody who is participating in design thinking is giving a chance to others to contribute collaboration? How do we encourage the people? Because many a time, as I have found, that the moment people are finding a problem or students are finding a problem, they also find a solution with it. It's very natural that our brain tells us that here is a problem, so this is a solution.
Okay,
How
thank
do
you.
we encourage
Thank you very
students
much.
that this aspect of approach where people should be when they are in a certain stage of design thinking, they respect that and value the process at that stage. So we now the mentor or a faculty can actually tell them that please focus here only on this stage, don't jump to conclusions, otherwise the solution will be superficial. Same way, are we able to identify, which I mentioned as mentorship, when the students come back from the field, are we able to sit with them and see the data and give them directions? So as faculty, which is the thinking part that we are contributing to their thinking. The third is the entire attitude of design thinking. So I personally believe that there is no faculty and student in a design thinking class Everyone is a professional and it should be treated like that. We should tell the students that, see, I'm also doing the project first time with you for this organization. Let's do it together. It's like a coach in a football game or cricket, that we are not different from you. Yes, we have little more experience of the field, but when we are doing a project originally for the first time, I'm equally like you. I only am expert at the process, and as we go on the way. So this is about the attitude. How do we leave the attitude of right and wrong, good and bad? We in design thinking, especially when I conduct a session, I begin by saying that whatever answer you will give, I'll never say that's wrong, because that's your perspective. What we can say is we'll build on it. So it creates a culture of finding a solution, curiosity, taking initiatives, all that are subjective. Otherwise, many a time I found it becomes a very theoretical thing, like happens online. No, you do take up design thinking, and many people, and of course now everyone coming out of design school, they write they are design thinkers. So design thinking is more an attitude also. As a faculty, I would say our attitude towards students, can we really make it learner centric? So when a student is answering, let us not make judgment ourselves also, and say that, okay, let's try it out. You may then let him realize that it is the right approach or not. So that kind of subjective aspect have to be the third angle which we should keep in mind as faculties.
Hello.
But,
Hello.
I think my
Hello.
takeaway from this is like,
Hello.
I should be interacting with them as a professional who is with a coaching attitude. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Pleasure, absolutely a pleasure.
Hello. May I ask you a question, sir?
Please go ahead.
Sir, so can we understood that the trial and error approach during the initial experimentation, we are extending the same, but with more precaution, is it?
Okay,
Design
no,
thinking.
yeah, very good point there. See this, I don't know whether somebody has addressed this before or not, but for benefit of everyone, I'm again iterating. Design thinking, to understand, is just three big circles. The first circle is
Feasibility.
finding a human need. So what we do is, when we go to the field, we try to find out by observation and empathy what is a latent human need, hidden human need. Let me give you a quick example. Samsung Note, I'm sure all of us are familiar with Samsung Note. When Samsung Note team wanted to create Samsung Note, they got a market survey result saying that people will not use a phone which is more than 5.5 inches. So the whole team got disheartened that now we cannot make more than 5.5 inch screen, because the survey is telling us, market research is telling us, people will not need it. So then one of the team members said, let's go to the field and actually see people in the field by observation and talking to them. When they went to field, they realized people, business people, artists, all these people were actually using a tablet or a laptop even when they were traveling to do their work. And they realized that this is a bigger screen. Why are people survey saying that people will not need a mobile more than 5.5 inch? So then they started talking to these people. What do you do on this device? And worked reverse, that here is a human need. Let us bring that human need to our organization and provide a solution to that human need. So design thinking is, the first level is identifying human need. Second level is, can we find a technique or technology to address the human need? For example, don't misunderstand technology from IT. Technology is also a LIFO or a FIFO. Technology is also about sowing seeds in a farm. That's also technique. So technique or technology. So that's the second. And third is the business viable? Whatever solution I am giving, is the solution viable for the company? This is what design thinking is: finding human need, technology, technical solution, and viability of whatever I am saying, or impact of it. Now, if we look at your question saying trial and error, trial and error is an approach. So what design thinking says, yes, it is iterative. It has to go back and forth. when sometime I'm in the prototype stage, I realize, oh, I've gone wrong. People are not accepting it. So I need to go back to the first stage of observation or talking to people. Therefore, it is iterative, and therefore the previous question also I would address in this manner, that this is the subjective things that faculties have to keep in mind, that yes, trial and error, I wouldn't say trial and error, I would also not say jugaad, because we are focused on very structured approach to innovation. It's not a jugaad approach to innovation. Please remember my request, because sometimes we try to force fit things, and
I understand.
so I hope I've been able to address.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, sir. It was nice.
Absolutely. My
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Sir, again, Janakiram.
Ji Janaki.
From Andhra Pradesh. Small request, sir.
Yes.
Actually, I have designed a course on design thinking. I will send this course to you. Will you
Sure.
evaluate and give some suggestions?
100%. 100%. Because
Actually,
that's our passion. So
yeah.
please share. It could become a interesting, contextual thing that you have designed. This is what we want. We want each one of us to come up with our own. My purpose of the presentation was, don't please copy or don't go online. Let's learn from different places, but create our own. So my
Yes, sir.
congratulations that if you have created something, we'll be more than happy to support there. And you can share it to Tushar Bhai also. And what we can do is that since we work closely, we'll give you the inputs on the same. Absolutely appreciate that. For others also, open invitation friends will be more than happy. It will also teach us the different context of design thinking where you are sitting and contextual to your institution.
Sir, in this regard, would you mind giving your mail ID so that now I'll send immediately?
Sure.
Maybe you can.
Tushar Bhai, my chat is off.
Hmm.
So can you put in my email ID for others?
Yes, I will
Yeah, yeah.
put it.
Yeah, yeah. So please feel free to write, because I am not, the chat here is off. So otherwise we can just share the email ID with everyone.
Okay.
So last year, December, I heard about design thinking, sir, in one of the MHRD FTP program.
Yes.
During this pandemic time, I have registered for 6 to 7 online courses, and I finished. And I read around 10 books on design thinking by IDEO and Tim Brown and
Yeah.
Tom Kelly, all these things. And
Yes.
around 100 research articles I have read, sir, by God's grace.
Wow.
Uh,
That's
so,
remarkable. That's
so we
so you.
should thanks to this Corona that made me to do like this.
Yes,
So,
just actually, if you look at it, you've read and researched more than what I would have done. Now let's get together and apply it in real life and get
yes,
benefit out of it.
yes.
Greatly appreciate your groundwork that you have done. Remarkable.
So it's been 1 year since I came to know what is design thinking.
Yeah,
So with my little knowledge, I am just trying to send my course to you, sir. Kindly
sure,
evaluate and give candid feedback so that I
sure.
learn.
Absolutely. We'll do that. And we, as I mentioned, we need more people like you who are passionate for this area. In fact, you would be surprised. One of the pioneers of design thinking at Harvard, Shrikant Dattar Saab, he's a professor of accounts
Mm.
and he teaches design thinking. So sometimes, faculty members, they think that how can, and of course, we are not talking about financial scams using design thinking on the lighter side, innovation in finance. But what we are saying is that it's a methodology that is getting appreciation for as an approach to teach subjects. MIT is now creating all their subjects using design thinking. So a learner centric approach where students come to the class, they start with a project and the whole onus shifts to the student. So faculties act as mentors rather than teachers. And that MIT is doing. If some of you are keen, you can look at their site, how they're going about. But that's what we can do. And I'm looking forward to people like you who can actually contribute so that we can catapult our nation using this approach to and become being our case studies. I mean, there are very few case studies from our country on this area. So welcome, friends. I'm looking forward to working whatever I can contribute.
We'll connect with them.
For
sir.
our kind information, I am also accounts professor, sir.
So my good, so there is
Rohit,
some connection between accounts and design thinking, therefore.
so that is what I think.
I'll not
uh,
comment.
yes. I want to add that Shrikant Datar is now become Dean of that Harvard Business School.
Absolutely.
From
Yes,
account professor to become professor in Harvard and then become dean is very prestigious for as a India. Like he
absolutely.
can become dean over there.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's the power of, you can say, design engineering, design thinking. And
Yes.
according to me, as a small 12 years of experience in management, I could say ki management and design is easily aligned, just to crack few things, few psychological things to understand empathy mapping and brainstorming and all. If it does, then definitely nobody will stop you to become design
Absolutely.
mentor or the experts in design. So
Absolutely. Well said.
with this, sir, we are just, and you have extended the time from your the valuable time, sir.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Anything
so
for faculty members, no, because you are the people who will make the change.
yes,
So anything for faculty, I myself am a faculty, so I completely understand, and it is up to us that if we can bring the change,
yeah,
then I think that's the satisfaction at the end of the day.
yes, sir.
Thank
So
you
with
very much, sir.
yes,
Pleasure.
so with
Thank you.
this, we conclude this session, and on behalf of all the participants and Graduate School of Management Study, Gujarat Technological University, we are really thankful to you, sir, from your valuable busy schedule. You have shared your this 1 hour, almost 1.5 hour for these participants, and really you have shared very good your explorers and your own works as a case study, and this will really impress all of us, and definitely if you become connected with you, and definitely they will also set up their own the IIC in terms of specific to incubation management or IIC management, and
Yeah.
definitely connect with you, sir. So thank you so much once again from all of us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tushar bhai, Pankaj bhai, and thanks to the entire GTU team for actually initiating such a wonderful program. And thanks for the participants. It was quite vibrant and interesting. Thanks a
Yes,
lot.
yes. Thank you. Okay.